Meantime, just what are the costs of a cyber attack? A new report from Deloitte finds business impacts are vastly underrated by C-suites because the majority of the damage from an attack is hidden, and the costs can stretch for 5 years or more with increased insurance premiums, lost contract revenue and the like. Joining us now to explain that report, Emily Mossburg, Principal in Deloitte's advisory cyber risk services, and indeed leader of its resilient practice. Welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So in essence, you think that people, CEOs, C-suites are not acknowledging the scale of what is going on with businesses that are attacked. Why do you come to that conclusion?
Well, if you think about what's talked about actively in the marketplace, there is a clear focus on the loss of personal data, credit card information, social security numbers, and that is an important element. When you hear about 20 million records lost, 50 million records lost, that's important. But that is not the true extent of what an organization and a company is dealing with. They're often also dealing with loss of intellectual property in the form of trade secrets or strategic documents. And in many cases, they're also seeing business outage and disruption. And those elements really haven't been part of the conversation to date.
How common is it for Fortune 500 companies to commission reports like your own into their own vulnerability? I would have thought this was an ongoing conversation that all of them are having.
Well, it's interesting, and this is definitely an evolving space. I think that they have been very focused on understanding their vulnerabilities, and they have been very interested and focused on understanding the evolving threat. But there's another element to all of that, and that's the business impact. And that has been one of the elements that has been sorely lacking in the conversation. And that's really what we wanted to bring to light and start the conversation around in doing this report. Organizations need to understand more than just where are they vulnerable and what is their threat, but what will the impact truly be to their organization if something does happen.
And is that partly because the cyber attacks are potentially going deeper into more complex organizations than maybe they were 10 years ago?
Well, I think that that is part of it, and also the adversary and the threats have evolved, right? They've continued to get more sophisticated, they're very well funded, and quite frankly, they have a number of different motivations, and the motivations is what drives the ultimate impact. The motivation may not be looking for credit card data or social security numbers anymore. The motivation may be that longer term data that will provide value over a longer period of time, like intellectual property. Or it may be to disrupt a business and to be able to then see the impacts of that business disruption. So the motivations themselves have impacted the threat, and they've evolved.
Do you think, Emily, as time goes on, in conclusion, the technology may solve this itself? I mean, we talk a lot about, or increasingly, about artificial intelligence, people moving onto the cloud and then having very sophisticated AI systems behind that, from Watson, from IBM, or whoever it might be. I mean, if you've got a Watson in the future protecting your company, presumably it's a lot safer.
Well, technology definitely will allow this to evolve and will allow us to better protect ourselves, be more vigilant, and be able to respond faster. But at the end of the day, this can't be treated as just a technology problem. There's a large element associated with the business context of the data that's at stake, and that business element can't be minimized. It really has to be at the forefront of the thinking.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Good to see you, Emily. Thank you for your time.
Very much.
Emily Mossburg joining us there from Deloitte.